Hey, what's happening? Tim with Nomad Trading. What's going on, guys? Streaming during the market live here, which I don't typically do, but I talked about doing it in the live stream yesterday, maybe the day before. I don't know. So I thought I'd give it a shot. Start streaming a little bit live during the market when the market's actually open. Maybe chat it up with some of you guys and gals if anybody's around. Yeah, so let's chat. Let's see what's moving. Let's do some trading. So far today, up 124 in this account and up. Hey, what's up, Dustin? And let's see what the other account. Got to minimize stuff to look at. The other one. Up 62.55 in the other one. So up a little under 200 bucks realized on the day at this point. Got some stuff kind of moving today. Watching a bunch of different stocks. So far I've traded. This morning was pretty slow early on. There wasn't a whole lot moving in the momentum world, which has been kind of the theme lately. So my go-to when it's really slow, then I usually go to Tesla and kind of trade that long and short. So that's what I did this morning. I can show, here's my chart over from CMEG. I shorted right here as there was, let me show you my thinking real quick on this. So as you can see, this is the 5-minute chart one day, and as the stock moved up right here, it kind of got rejected where the market closed yesterday at 7:01. So I just shorted into that and then covered it down here. Let me see here. So yeah, this is the CMEG chart. So as you can see, I shorted it right here, right up here at the right into the resistance right there from the previous day, and then covered it right here. It went below VWAP, got down in here into this consolidation, so I covered that, that's where I made the 60. I think I made actually like 70 bucks or so on that, and then I tried a dip buy right here at the VWAP, bought it where the blue triangle is right here, thinking it would bounce right off of that. Put my stop right down just underneath. Actually I put my stop down here and it didn't hit it, but it bounced up, and then I thought it looked bearish. It didn't hold VWAP, so I just got out of it. So anyway, gave a little bit, just a hair back on that, but not much. So went from up like 75 or 70 or something to up 62 in that account, up 124 in this other account. I believe that was on, let's see, yeah, that was on Tesla also. And that was when I switched my bias, whenever it kind of got up there and started to reclaim VWAP and then break out. I bought that and then sold it along the way up into this spike. And it has since come back down. So anyway, it was a slower day in the Momo world, so I started day trading Tesla. Now it looks like things are kind of starting to pick up. We're seeing a few other stocks moving, so just watching those at the moment, seeing if anything develops. Thanks for the like, whoever gave me the like there. Pretty cool. Making money, bruh. That's right. You should try AHT Live. I will if I get the chance. It's muted for you. Oh, it was you. Okay. You worried me there. What's up there, Mr. X? Yeah, I've been watching AHT. I've been watching a bunch of them. Let's see, what was AHT doing last I looked? Yeah, it's still going, cool. Yeah, I'm not going to chase it up here, probably. I remember thinking when I was looking at it earlier that it would possibly hit this, the bottom of this candle here, and then you got the same area consolidation over here, and then you got a peak right there. So it looked like maybe 238 might be a spot of resistance, and it kind of was. That's where I was watching it. It hit that, bounced off, got rejected. Then I clicked over and started working on getting this live stream going. And since then, it kind of broke that level. But again, you know, I'm not in the business of chasing. And it's getting considerably beyond VWAP, beyond the 50, beyond the 200, getting up here pretty good. So now if I was going to buy it, it would be on a significant pullback, because if you look at the 1 minute chart here, we've got a little pullback, another little pullback, another little pullback, another little pullback. So it's got quite a few mini pullbacks happening, and typically that would be more of a bearish sign that there's going to be a bigger pullback coming, because you're not just seeing it just rip off big chunks. So I'm expecting we would probably are going to see that come maybe back down in the mid 230s or lower 230s. Then I might consider it. We'll just see how it looks. On the 5 minute chart, looks a little bit better on the 5 minute, but here we go. Just like I said, you know, gonna get a little bit bigger of a pullback here. Now I expect it to possibly bounce just a little bit up here and then pull back further. And then maybe when we get down here in the, this is just my prediction, I could be wrong of course, but maybe we get down here in the 230 area, see some consolidation, then I might consider it. Just have to wait and see. Old Dustin, you got a 197 average, very nice, very nice. Took some profit at 221. Okay, good. So yeah, 197 average. So you basically bought. So you must have been buying it before today then, if you got a 197 average, right? Because it didn't really even break out until above that, till 198. So I'm guessing you weren't buying the breakout, so you must have been buying it before today. Thanks for the likes again. We got a couple of likes. Cool, cool. Let's see what else we got. BTX was one. See, here we got the little bit bigger pullback as expected. Just working, doing exactly what I thought it would. The question is, would I buy it here when it's kind of testing that trend line? Probably not, because more than likely it will hold that, bounce up a little bit, and then, like I said, pull back down more into this range down here. That's just a guess. You never know. Could rock it up if it gets some more volume and keep going, but we shall see. I would expect that it bounces a little bit, then comes back down more. Then I would like to see a consolidation and a curl, and then it would become interesting at that point. Because on the daily chart we do have lots of room to go up. So that's a good thing. What was BTX doing? That was another one. I was definitely watching that one. Look at the daily chart on BTX, going from down here under $4. Just when was this? Beginning of April. Yeah, beginning of the month, under $4, and here we are up at $29. Even got over 30, got over 31. So all the way to $31.50 from $4 in less than a month. That's crazy. That's what we'd like to see. Like, I love volatile stocks like that. It's awesome. Zoom out a little bit. So yeah, we're getting pretty parabolic on this. Hard to buy at this point. So not very interested in that one, especially because it's kind of forming what could be somewhat of a head and shoulders. We'll see. But yeah, at this point, the way it's come down, not looking as bullish on the day. And of course, if you got a daily chart where it's up that much in the last month, really going to have a hard time buying a stock like that, because you don't want to buy it and then end up being the one that gets dumped on. This is a very pumpy looking squeeze type chart that could be getting ready for a large pullback at some point. So I'm not going to be buying that up there. And if you look at the RSI way down here, look how overbought it is. I mean, we're way up there. Doesn't mean it can't go higher. It could. It just means that I'm not as interested in it up here with the current chart. Let's see. YouTube not receiving enough video to maintain streaming, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I know, because I'm streaming 2 different trading platforms and a scanner and live streaming and streaming stock twits and streaming music. Yeah, my computer's like overwhelmed at the moment, apparently. So let me see what I can do. I need to get some of this stuff closed out. The biggest gainer on this scanner is ELP. Obviously, that's some kind of a buyout because it's jumped from 115 all the way up into the 5s and then is moving straight sideways. That's the kind of chart you see whenever a stock gets bought out or there's something with a definite price on a stock. That's when you see that giant jump and then a sideways move. The chart looks like that. So not interested in that. BAMI, second leading percent gainer of the day, but very low volume. So that one is a no. I don't even know how that's not BAMI. That does definitely not match what my what my scanner says. My scanner says that this thing is up 110%, but it does not appear to be up 110%. So don't know what the heck that's talking about. Scanner's clearly wrong on that. MVIS, this one's been moving for a couple of days. Now this one could be interesting because it could be forming a bull pennant of sorts. If you look at the daily chart, we got this nice big pull, flag pull here, and then it's starting to get tighter and tighter. So if I was going to guess on today's range, I would bet that perhaps this gets another day or two of just tighter and tighter, and then we'll see when it gets probably consolidated around 2350 or so, kind of the tops of this peak right here. I'm guessing that's where this is going to end up consolidating, and then it'll break out from there. So it could be today, could be tomorrow, could be Friday, maybe even into Monday. We'll see how this develops. But if I was just going to guess, I don't have a crystal ball, but if I was going to guess, I'd say maybe this consolidates tighter and tighter, and we end up with somewhat of a bull pennant and maybe a move higher. It could end up failing, but maybe a move higher. So it's one to kind of watch in the upcoming days. And even today, I mean, it is holding this uptrend. It's pulled back. We're getting a nice pullback near the 50 moving average, but staying above VWAP. So we'll see if it can kind of hold this uptrend or if it's going to end up pulling back more. Let's see. Are you early today? You are early today. Are you gonna do any live trading? Well, yeah, I know it's freezing. Stream is healthier. No data. See if we can get this thing working again. Tell me if the stream gets any better. I'm trying to get all this stuff closed out. And get this thing back to manageable. About bear with me. I'm trying to close enough. Trying to close a bunch of stuff down because I'm just overwhelming my computer with all the stuff I got going on. I don't know if you can even hear me right now, but I'm streaming live. Got my OBS streamer. I've got 2 different stock platforms running simultaneously, 2 different scanners running. So I had music going on. I got all this stuff going on. Let me close a bunch of these programs and see if we can get it to actually work. How about now? We got a lot of stuff closed down. Is it working now? Okay. Let's see here. Let's see. Okay. Good deal. I'm still getting that error message. I'm saying it's buffering, so I don't really know what else I can do. I've got tons of stuff closed out. Now we should be to the point where things are okay. Now, okay, so on MVIS, if somebody was going to buy this, you could try a pullback right now and buy it. Set your stop just below here, but to me it looks like it's gonna probably pull back more. We'll just have to see. So I'm not gonna buy this one at this point. Will I do any live trading today? It just depends on if anything develops. I've already traded, like I said, I'm up roughly a little under 200 on the day. Hey, yay, it actually went away. The little stream health thing went away, so hooray. And like I said, yep, that one pulled back more as expected. Pulling back. Let's see. What's the overall market doing? Because as we know, 3 out of 4 stocks follow the market. So I've always got one eye on what the market is doing. It's another reason that I went short on Tesla right out of the gate, by the way, because I saw that I looked at where the possible resistance was on Tesla as it spiked up. Then I saw SPY starting to dump, and I knew that it was pretty high odds play to short into that resistance with the market starting to pull back at that point out of the gate. So, and it worked beautifully. Let's see, what else is moving today? What else we got? I'm hesitant. I turned my scanner off. I turned pretty much everything off that I could to try to get this stream to actually work. So now I got to use a stock screener just to remember what the ones were that were moving so I can get back into them. So we got ADMA. That was a big mover today, almost 170 million shares. That's one that I'm watching just because of the volume. It's probably the hottest stock of the day as far as volume goes. But does not look good as far as the chart at the moment. Pulling back near this lower area of consolidation. Could try a buy now. I mean, I don't know. It's pretty risky because we're under VWAP. We're under the 50 moving average. Less risky considering that you got this area consolidation that could act as support. So you could buy a dip buy here. But we've gone red on the day. If you look over here, this is the daily chart. So it's gone from green to red. Not a good sign. So yeah, probably not going to touch that one either. Maybe if it goes back to green on the day, starts to curl up, we'll see. Gets past these highs, gets past VWAP, maybe into the afternoon hours. Could get interesting, but right now, nothing too exciting on it. CRTD is another one that is up. Let's see, up almost 20% as of this. Now it's up only 13% and falling. Disappointing. So that one's not that exciting either. JG. That one's nothing but a fade all day. Big spikes at the open and then fading all day. So no, not exciting there. Looks like they got a price target of $6 from Oppenheimer. That is the news. Let's see what else we got here. BOXL. I liked my music in the background. I need to get, this is kind of, I like having music when I'm trading, and now here we are. When I do that, it starts having streaming issues. Do I post on StockTwits? Yeah, sometimes. I mostly just share my videos on there and stuff. I don't post too much, but I do look at StockTwits for number one, you can see stuff that is moving. Sometimes you can kind of see what's on fire, at the top of the screen. On StockTwits, it'll have the rolling tickers that are the hottest ones. So I kind of look at that to see if there's anything I'm missing from my stock screeners and scanners. And also if I'm looking for news or trying to figure out why a stock is up or down, StockTwits is pretty good for that. Usually you can go to that ticker's little page and somebody will be posting about why it's up or down. So I use it for that. Okay, so CLOV is a high of the BOXL. I'm kind of watching this. This is interesting at the moment because we kind of got somewhat of a triangle forming here, consolidating tighter and tighter, and maybe going to break back above VWAP. but doesn't have really the range I would like it to have. Only 10-20 cents of range, not that exciting. Let's see, CLV. Okay, there we go, pushing new high of day. I like that. It's got a little bit more range. We got over $1 of range on the day. The daily chart looks somewhat interesting because it's kind of curling up and breaking out past that previous resistance. So okay, we're kind of coming into this area of resistance, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. I like that it's breaking out past that, so this could be one to watch. 40 million shares. Okay, do we got news? They're gonna report their earnings, it looks like May 17th. That's not really news, so I'm not really sure why it's up at the moment, but okay. Do you know why CLOV is up, Mr. X, or is it just up because of no reason? Because it's going to report earnings. I mean, that's not really news that it's going to report its financial results. But I guess maybe that's what started the spike. I don't know. Could be just starting to squeeze because of the curl here. I don't know. Chart-wise, though, from a technical standpoint, not looking too bad. So now we're looking at 5-minute chart, 14-day time period. So yeah, it's broke out past that. What would have been the previous high there at 1058 or so. So we broke out past that. We've made a new high, but it's just not getting the big jumps that I would like to see. Typically, you can kind of tell. I don't know. It's hard to describe, but the more you trade and the more you look at charts all day, every day, and the more you look at breakouts in particular, you kind of tell the ones that are big movers from the ones that make you a little more nervous, like this one. And it's very possibly because it doesn't have any news. That might be what the problem is. But what I would like to see, and it may open up. I mean, you never know what's going to happen. It may start to open up, but typically what I'd like to see is whenever you see a breakout, a high of day breakout, you want to see it really start opening up and taking big chunks with it. Whenever you see it pop up and then pop back down or just go up a few cents, typically that is a little bit of a red flag that you may end up getting trapped. Not always. Sometimes it ends up picking up on you, but I like to see stocks that really, because the idea is when you get to the high of day, not only do you get people buying the high of day break, but you get, if you have enough shorts, you get shorts start covering. And you know, think about it, if you're short and it starts breaking out, you're going to start covering. So that's when you get the epic short squeezes. So that's why ideally you'd like to see big chunks start ripping when it breaks the high of day, because if you got the right combination for what would be a big run, then you should see pretty big moves when it breaks the high of day between people buying and between shorts covering. So if you don't see that, it may mean that there's not very many shorts trapped in it. May mean that it just might not have the recipe needed for a big run. And this one, sometimes that's because there's no news and it's just moving on technicals. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It can mean that, that this will slowly grind up. That's what you'll see. If the chart's just moving on technicals and you don't have a good solid catalyst, it doesn't mean it won't go up. It just typically will mean that you'll see it more of a grind instead of a, a huge move, if that makes any sense. Got the same as you. Awesome. Got 5 likes now. Pretty cool. Thanks, guys. I need to get some music going. See if I can find some kind of like copyright-free music. Oh, since you know how YouTube is. Hopefully this thing will make me eat my words and we'll see it start really ripping. Especially if anybody's in this. I don't know if Mr. X is in it or not, but from a technical standpoint, it doesn't look bad. I just don't like that it doesn't seem like it really wants to go, or at least not yet anyway. And it might. There's been many times, I'm sure you guys have also seen them, where they're kind of slow to get going, and then all of a sudden you start seeing the shorts panicking and things, and it starts really ripping off chunks of $1 at a time or 50 cents at a time, and really flying. But look how we're just choppy here, it just kind of keeps hitting the 1080s and then kind of bouncing back down. It's not really going yet, at least, not yet. It does have decent volume. I mean, we got 42 million shares on an almost $11 stock, so decent volume, but let me try to find some music here. Non-copyright music. There we go. I don't know if it's going to be good music, but at least it's not so boring as just sitting here in silence talking to myself. Let's get lots of people. I want to get lots of people in the old chat here. I don't know how some of these people do it. I look on YouTube and watch some of these guys. I won't name any names, but there are several people that stream the old stock market all day, and they talk and do literally exactly what I'm doing, but they got like 10,000 people watching some of them, and they don't even really know what they're talking about. They're saying things about different stocks that I'm scratching my head like, man, you don't even know what you're talking about, and yet you have a huge following watching you live. It's craziness. There are definitely people on YouTube that do know what they're talking about, but there's a few that don't, and yet they have huge followings. It's interesting. And they don't even trade. Like some of the ones that I'm thinking about, I don't ever even see them take any trades other than like buying one GameStop or one share or something. Speaking of GameStop, let's check this baby out. Down here on my daily chart, I had drawn these lines a few days ago, so it looks like that's kind of coming to fruition, because I kind of thought whenever I drew these that we would see it either break out, maybe keep going, break out, or maybe break down more, just getting tighter and tighter consolidation. And sure enough, it's kind of broke above that line, so we'll see. Is this a spot to buy GameStop and swing it? See if it, now that it's kind of broke out of that consolidation, will it keep going? I don't know. Should I buy some GameStop just to try to swing it, see what happens? Sold off today from the 170s down to the 160s, so about $10 a share sell off, but has since rebounded a lot of it up through VWAP, up through the 200. Those are bullish signs, but we have not got back up to the pre-market levels yet. So zoom out a little bit. Okay, so yeah, if we zoom out, we got a pretty downtrending chart. Got to break out above that. Maybe up above one. Let's see, up above 175 might get interesting. I may actually buy a few shares of this if it gets over 175, just because it'll be out of my consolidation range on the daily chart, and it would be maybe breaking out of that downtrend. So yeah, we'll see. It's something to watch. Since you've been trading a lot longer than me, when everything starts to pick up, man, everything when everything starts to pick up, man, everything's too slow. Are you asking when it's gonna pick up? That's a good question. It has been slow. Typically summers are slower, so I don't, last summer we didn't really see that, but that's because of the pandemic and everybody was kind of stuck at home, and there was a giant influx of new traders into the markets because of everybody being home and trying to make money from home and all that. We had this big influx of traders, tons of people trading that didn't normally trade, which created a ton of momentum plays, because then once something would get going, a lot of new people would chase them and you get these crazy moves. So last summer was a little bit of an exception to the rule, but typically the summer's trading will slow down a little bit. You'll still see momentum plays, but not as many as you do other times of the year. But I think that's kind of what we're seeing, is that, in my opinion anyway, we're getting into the time when things are starting to open back up as far as the country goes. Stuff's opening back up. People are getting out and enjoying things more. When I go out and about now on the nice days, some of the places will just be packed, like some of the restaurants and some of the entertainment type stuff is just packed on the days that are nice and sunny. People are tired of being cooped up and they're kind of getting out and about. People are just starting to maybe get back to work as their employment stuff runs out and stimulus checks have kind of come to an end, and we've got past tax time, and so all of that, I think the money has slowed down flowing into the market. Plus we've got a market that is at all-time high after all-time high, which is good, but at the same time I think some of the volume starts to come out when you see this kind of situation on the overall market, where it's just hanging around at all-time highs for day after day after day. People get a little bit nervous that when is the pullback coming, or is it going to break out, or is it going to pull back big? So the money kind of comes out a little bit. People trade a little bit more scared. So that's what I think anyway. A combination of all those things has slowed down the momentum world a little bit. Hopefully it picks up again pretty soon. Just not seeing. Let's see what we got here. I'm kind of looking at my screeners, seeing what's going on. Now that I turned my actual scanner off because of my YouTube streaming issues. So the downside to that, of course YouTube or E-Trade doesn't have their scanner. That was ideal, because then I'd have it right here on my screen and it wouldn't take any more of my computer power. What is happening? Why is this? I'm getting music happening for some reason. There we go. Anyway, the downside to turning my scanner off in order to stream is that I'm not getting all the high of day alerts and things. So I may be missing some moves, missing some stuff. Look at GME kind of still breaking up. Yeah, see, this is a good indication of the momentum world. And I may not end up streaming all day today. You know, I've made my almost 200 bucks. I made 3 something yesterday, 400 and something the day before that. So, you know, I'm having a decent week of almost $1,000 in profit. Not great, you know, but not bad. It's a lot better than some of the losing weeks I've had recently, so I'll take it. So I'm not going to sit here all day if there's nothing to play, but just an example. Check this out, y'all. So this is an intraday screener. It's not a scanner. It's my market watch screener that I've got set with my criteria, and typically, and I've got it up here just bookmarked. So if I can't find anything to trade on my scanner, free scanner by the way, you can check out my video on the scanner that I use, which is free. But anyway, if I'm not seeing anything going on, I'll click on some of these screeners just to make sure I'm not missing anything. And this is one that for the longest time, if I clicked on this, there'd be 20 stocks on this list, and I would be, you know, having to go through and see which one had the best setup. And look at it today. And this has been the case many days in the last couple of weeks where there's 0 results. That's just crazy. Sometimes there would be, you know, a few months back or last year, there was quite a few days where I'd have 2 pages, same criteria, and I'd have 2 pages of stocks to choose from. And here we are now, 0. There are 0 results matching my criteria on that particular screener. That's crazy. That just tells you that the momentum world is basically dead right now. Hardly anything going. Anyway, let's check on some of our ones we had here. What's CLOV doing? So there we go. Now we're starting to get a good move on that. I don't know if Mr. X is still holding that, or if he traded that or not. He or she. I assume Mr. X would be a he, but yeah. So it's starting to open up now. This is what I was wanting to see earlier when I was talking about it. When you start seeing it, you know, it was getting real choppy there. It wasn't really, it broke the high of day, but it was just chopping around. Now we're starting to see it, you know, the green candles and breaking off some nice pieces. Might finally be getting, you know, usually when you start seeing the bigger moves, that's when you start seeing that shorts are covering, and you start seeing the bigger chunks of money breaking off in the 1 minute and 5 minute candles. So might finally be making that happen now, where it's kind of opening up here. Nice big green candle there. We'll see what happens. Looks like the volume's coming into, it was at 40 million or so a few minutes ago, and now we're at 48.5 million already. So we got some decent volume, as you can see down here, especially for being midday. Being midday and still having some pretty decent volume, it's a good sign. So we'll see. I like the chart on the daily. It doesn't look too bad with it curling up, and I like the intraday chart. So definitely going to be one to watch. May end up taking a trade on it. I just haven't seen anything, you know, where the breakout happened here. I like to buy breakouts. But when the breakout happened here, it was just so choppy, it looked like it could end up being a fake out or failing back down. And we had already seen it get, you know, here it was at that level there, got to that level again and failed, got around the same level and failed, all the way back down almost to VWAP. So seeing how choppy it was, didn't want to buy that. But now, you know, it's kind of going without me. That's the way it goes sometimes. In retrospect, the buy would have been when it retested it. That would have been a perfect buy. Didn't do that because I was not paying attention, was looking at other stocks and rambling. So that's the downside about streaming and trading, is that it's difficult enough to be a profitable trader. Some people, are millionaire traders, but I'm not one of them. So it's difficult to be a profitable trader, and then it, adds a certain degree of difficulty when you're talking and trying to explain and looking at different things at the same time, and then sometimes you miss these plays. So the perfect entry on this would have been right here, just for those of you that are watching this. When you look back, because it did break out, it pulled back down, and it touched the previous high and held it. And then as it started to hold that and then move back up, that's a perfect buying opportunity right there. That's what you want to see. You want to see a breakout, and then we call that a confirmation when it holds the breakout level and then curls up. It's confirmed. So that would have been a perfect buy, and could have pretty easily made the trade from 1079, 1080 up to at least $11. So you could have made 20 cents a share as a pretty sure thing right there. Again, though, watching this, it's just not. It looked like it was starting to open up, but then here we are again. We're coming down, pulling back. It's just not really opening up like you would like to see. I would have loved to see this just, fly to 1150 or something, a big move. And like I said, it's probably because there's no catalyst. The only catalyst I see is that they're going to release financial results on May 17th, but that's not a catalyst. That's not news. That's just, everybody's releasing their earnings around this time, so that's not news. That's just regurgitating something that everybody should already know. And that could be why it's not really flying, because it's just moving up on the technical setup. Voxel, I was watching ADMA. That was the one kind of everybody's trading, but yeah, here we go with this one. This one's just failing, so there goes that. I was hoping that we would see that hold this level. It consolidated, pulled back and consolidated. I was hoping it would pull back and consolidate a little bit higher than this previous one, and then we might see it curl and move up this afternoon, just because this happens to be the one. I'm just grasping at straws here, guys. There's not much in the momentum world, so this one had 180 million shares traded, so I was hoping that this would be the one that maybe would curl and be moving this afternoon, but it's failing, so probably not. We've gone red on the day. We're failing. Now it's more of a short than it would be a long at this point. What does the market do? What's the overall market do? See them. Look how flat the market is. It's just crazy. And this is probably a testament as to why there's not much in the momentum world moving. Look at, you got decent range on these candles here, but look at these last 3 days. You got Monday, Tuesday, and today. Super tight range right here. Just hardly any volatility. Just really tight range. Right up here near the high, the all-time highs. Super tight range. So I think that's what we're seeing reflected in the momentum world right now. I'm a he. I know you are. I was just kind of messing around. This day and age, you got to be politically correct, so didn't want to misgender you or whatever they call it. Boy, there's just nothing going on, really, is there? I just don't see much of anything going on. That's why I was trading Tesla this morning. When there's nothing going on, Tim day trades Tesla. That's pretty much my game plan. If there's nothing going on, I can't find anything happening, I just go to Tesla and try to find a decent setup intraday on Tesla, either long or short. It's usually good for some volatility, so that's why I figure that, hey, if you can't find anything else, Tesla's probably good for at least some kind of movement up or down. Try to make a little bit of money on it. Where are we at on that? Oh, we're back under 700. Back under 700 on Tesla. I still like this as far as a long-term play, but I'm liking it less. What are you doing, Tesla? I'm liking you less right now. Really thought that we were going to stay up here in this 720, 730 range, and then it was going to end up moving to get a new all-time high. So, not really liking it coming back down under 700, especially after solid earnings. We had solid earnings. Things are looking, pretty good, and then here we are back under 700. Don't like it. Cut it out, Tesla. Get your shit together. What else do we got? Let's look at some ones that I've held previously. We got CCIV. This is one that, let's see. I had my downtrending thing happening there. We kind of broke that, which is good. Let's see. Yeah. It might finally be a good buy. I'd already bought it at its lows and made some money on it as it moved up, but I sold it. I've got out of almost everything, so now I'm looking to rebuy and do a few more for some swings. I just get nervous. Like I said, I think it's me along with everybody else, and that's why we're not seeing much in the momentum world and not seeing things moving really, is that when you got the stock market looking like this overall, and we're just up here at all-time highs and super tight consolidation like we have with hardly any volatility, it just gets me in a place where I don't want to hold a bunch of stocks, because they're probably, at some point, you got to expect there's going to be a pullback. So if it starts heading up, then I feel a little more comfortable because we'll be breaking out. But until then, I don't want to be holding, tons and tons of stocks that'll just pull back on me. I'd rather get out, take my profit, get out, sit on the sidelines, watch for things to develop, and then get back in. That's just me. Everybody's different. But yeah, this one's maybe, I want to zoom in a little bit actually. Yeah, so as long as it holds above that level there, I might be thinking about that one as a buy to hold. The reason being, I think it came down. I think it was definitely overbought way up here. It wasn't worth that. It should have never been up there. But that being said, it came down that much on the news that it had, which wasn't that bad. It was talking about the valuation, and since then there's been tours of their plant, and there's been good things to me that when they start actually getting cars cranked out, I could see this thing going way up. So it might be a decent long-term play. It's just a matter of how low will it go before then. But I think now maybe we've seen the bottom. Maybe we'll see it holding these levels here, and then it'd be a good buy to hold long-term as they start making some cars. Anyway, we got 6 likes, and this is another, there's not many people really in the markets, especially today. It's really slow today in the markets, slow on YouTube today. I don't see people in some of the other YouTuber chats that I check out here and there that live stream the market and stuff. Their numbers are way down today. Just looks like there's not very many people trading today. Seems awful slow in pretty much every way today. So I picked a pretty terrible day to stream because I'm not really seeing much as far as things to buy to live trade. There's just not much going on. Not many people to watch, not many trades to take. More of a, it looks like it's going to be a good day to go do other things. Let's see, I'm going to kind of take one final look around. If I don't really see anything, I'm just going to get out of here and go do other things for the rest of the day. Sometimes the best play is no play at all. If you don't see anything moving, nothing going on, don't try to make something happen, because a lot of times that's when you'll turn your flat day into a big red day. I've done that many times before. Not trying to do that today. You know, I made a couple $100. Nothing too exciting, but I'd much rather walk away with that couple $100 in my pocket than try to make something happen when there just isn't anything going on and turn that day into a loss. Let's see what we got. Is ADMA kind of moving back up? Also, GME pulled back. ADMA, nope, still failing down. So there's really just not much happening. Cassia. This was one from the other day. Ooh, that one might have been a decent play. Or it might be right now, actually. Okay. See how we're kind of maybe a little bit of a flag there, and then a little bit of a flat bottom here of support. And we got kind of our downtrend here. So then we'll see, maybe it can break out to the upside. It could always break down. So let's see. Especially being midday with fading volume. This is one, 847, and we're right into that area of that peak right there and over there. Let's see. I don't want to get caught in a fake out. So we're going to kind of watch. Let's watch and see what happens here. The second peak's a little bit high, so it didn't follow an exact trend line there, but you know, pretty close. So you can draw a you can kind of draw. There's no exact science to this stuff either, guys. People ask me that all the time. You know, how do you know exactly where to draw? Well, you don't really. You just kind of watch where the stock reacts, and you kind of take your best guess. Some people use the bodies of the candles. Some people use the wicks. I kind of go back and forth depending on how the stock looks at that particular time. But I mean, you could draw it there. You could also come to the peak of this one and draw it like this, and just kind of go through that middle, the second move that was a little high. You can kind of go through that. Either way, you kind of end up with it about in the same area. But to me, I would tend to remove. There we go. I would tend to use this one more because this was, you had this peak here and then it came up. This is kind of the more recent peak, so I would tend to use that at this point and see. And what we're looking for now is, can it come up and break that line, and then hopefully break out and continue to go up. That's the idea anyway. I'd really like to see it go another minute or two. Why are you moving? Silly thing. Stay put. Stay put. Let's see. So here we are. We're getting to where we're about to test it here, and we'll see what happens. Sometimes you'll see it hit that line and it'll be a fake out and it'll just dump after that. Or we might see it just hit that, and then the next minute it will make another tighter move. But the thing about it is, when you see these kind of situations where it gets tighter and tighter, it's going to force it to go one way or the other. Which way we shall see. So see how we're right at it right there. What's going to happen? Is it going to break up, or is it going to get pushed back down again? Dang it. So there, we're hitting it. What this doesn't have going for it, the only problem I have with this at the moment is that we are midday. We're going to have lighter volume or midday, and a lot of moves fail midday. So that's very unfortunate. Even taking this trade, if it breaks out and I were to take that trade, I'd be a little more apprehensive about it because of the fact that we're midday and we got lower volume, and moves tend to fail midday. So I don't know that I will take this trade just because of that. It's kind of consolidating tighter and tighter. It's doing kind of what we want to see. We got kind of the move up and we got that, but notice how it did not make it. It didn't break out. Typically, if this was a situation where the stock was going to be really hot and we were going to get the big move, we would have a lot of times seen it right there. A lot of times it would jump the gun a little bit and not come down to the last possible second. It would have, hey, we're getting close to that line, and people would have jumped on it and would have shot up very quickly and busted through 860, and then you would see that big move. Now I'm kind of thinking that that's less likely at this point. We do also have, on the 1 minute chart, we do also have the 50 moving average to contend with, which it looks like it's kind of reacting to. It's kind of bouncing off that. Let's see. Okay, getting over here. Thanks for the likes, ladies and gents. Got a few people in here. Slow day. Let's see. BTX. BTX moving again. I'll check it out. Good morning, Alpine. Sent you an email requesting consult. Okay, you did. I will check that. And there we go. We got the fail. There's the fail, as suspected. See, this stuff's really not as hard to predict. I mean, it's definitely not easy by any stretch of the imagination. It's very difficult to make money at it long term, especially consistently. But it's not as impossible as people think. Just like, since I've been live streaming this, there's been a couple different things that we've been able to predict just from the patterns, and this has got tighter and tighter. It looked like it was not going to break out. We didn't see the pop up. We didn't see the volume come in, so it was a pretty likely scenario that it would break down. So this would be a good short. I did check CMEG and did not have shares to short there or E-Trade, so I can't short it. So no way to make money on that breakdown. But just saying, it's good to be able to at least start to predict what might happen and kind of see the probabilities of how things develop. Now you will be looking for, if we take this, maybe you're in this long or something and you want to know where maybe it might stop at, or maybe you're into bounce plays. So then you could take that, kind of draw your line based on the bottoms of these wicks, and as you can see, based on that wick and that wick, and we got somewhat of a trend line drawn there. And then what happens? It comes down, breaks through VWAP. Where does it bounce at? Pretty much at the trend line there and the 50 moving average. So that's kind of where it stopped. It may go lower, and you never know what's going to happen, and you can't predict everything. But it did stop there on that 5-minute candle. That is where it kind of bottomed out, and it held it for a second. Now we'll see what happens. Most likely it's going to continue down more, but you never know. It could bounce. This is not something that I would be probably playing a bounce play on, especially because it's under VWAP, and we didn't get a big washout on a stock that's up considerably. It's just kind of a small washout. And at this point, if you look at the daily candle, we're not up big to where there's tons and tons of volume and a very likelihood of a bounce. Not considering today in the daily chart and the way that things look and the volume, etc., not a very good bounce play at this point, in my opinion. So, not gonna do that. Just gonna kind of watch it. Gonna look at what was BTX. Mr. X said was making new highs. See, this thing, I like this thing a lot, but I just can't make myself chase it. It's so. This is the daily chart down here, and like I said earlier, we've gone from under $4 to now $33 in less than a month. I can't make myself buy that. To me, that just seems there's no way to wrap my head around that and not feel like I'm chasing it. It just feels like I'm chasing a stock when it's way up like that. Just today alone, we're up 32%. But it's more the daily chart that scares me. Maybe it keeps going, though. I mean, who knows? This could be at $50 by the end of the day. Can't predict everything. All I know is it's super overbought. Look at the RSI down here. We got a super overbought stock that's gone from 4 to 33 in less than a month. So to me, it's more of a short, especially up here. And I'm sure there are not shares to short at any of my spots here. Bum, 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 Let's see. I gotta get out of that. Let's see. BTX. Nope, no shares to short. It's actually on short seller restrictions, so that's another reason why it's up so big. It's heavily shorted, and it's on restriction at the moment, so that also helps it go to the moon. Let's see, AHT. As expected with AHT, when we were talking about it earlier in the live stream, I said it's probably going to come back down into the low 230s, maybe near VWAP, and sure enough, that's what happened. At that time, it was up here in the 230s and 240s, and yeah, exactly as expected, back down here near VWAP in the very low 230s. Could be a buy now. I mean, you could buy it now and then set the stop just under VWAP. The daily chart's kind of all over the place. You know, big peaks and valleys, just all over the place for the daily chart. So the good thing is that it looks like we've kind of found a bottom here, and then now we've bounced off of that up significantly, which is great. But I don't know. Got some different areas of resistance that make me think I'm probably not going to buy that one either. Just not a lot that is very appetizing to me today. It's pretty dead in the stock world today. With that being said, I think I'm actually going to jump off of here because there's just not a lot going on. Not a lot of people in the chat, not a lot of people trading in the markets, not a lot of stocks moving. So it's just a good day to take the rest of the day off, take my little $200 profit and move on. You know, there's a lot of people that don't even make $200 at their job in a day, so I feel very blessed to have made $200 just sitting here at my computer doing something I enjoy, clicking a few buttons. So hashtag blessed. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. I enjoy it. With that, I think I'm going to jump off of here. There's really nothing going on. Pretty boring. If something exciting happens, I'll come back and do some more live streaming. If I see any kind of trades develop or something, I'll jump back on here. I was hoping to place some live trades today, but there's just nothing going on really. And the ones that I did place today were just out of the gate on Tesla because I couldn't find any real momentum stocks to play. So not a good day to really stream and live trade or do any of that. Just a boring day. Today is very meh, as Craze just put it. So true. But Mr. X and everybody watching this, look at me, 2 days in a row streaming. So trying to get back into the YouTube thing, get back into the swing of it, and do some more stuff with YouTube. I kind of took a break from it. Now I'm trying to get back into it. Maybe get back into doing more live streams. Maybe do some live trading. Try to come up with some ideas on some new videos. I feel like I've kind of just beaten the stuff to death with the videos. That's why I stopped. I couldn't think of any new ideas. So I don't know. Maybe I'll come up with some. I'm trying to, and if not, then we'll just do some more live streaming and maybe some live trading and things get back into the YouTube swing. So thanks for joining. Y'all have a fantastic day, and I will see you either later on if something exciting happens in the markets, or I'll see you tomorrow. We'll do it again. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Peace.